So far, so good.
Hey, great.
Okay, perfect. It's working. That's so good. Okay. So I'm gonna do some rearranging of my desktop and mute myself on the other screen. So welcome to Artists Chatting with T. A new year and a buttload of new complications, but we're gonna make this work. I want to welcome Ashan to he's visiting with me tonight. We actually went to undergrad together at the University of West Georgia, and we attended multiple classes. I've seen him totally like just the whole like evolution that he's come through, at least the beginning part. So it's really cool to see how far you've came and like where you're going next. But this guy, he's really his concentration is mostly in ceramics, but he also does wonderful drawings and paintings, and I have seen some awesome killer performance videos that he conceived that are just entirely entertaining. I love them. So I want to hear more about some of maybe your plans for continuing those, hopefully in the future. But once we graduated, he went on to attend his MFA um, at he took grad school at Clemson University, and now he's back in Carrollton teaching courses at UWG and creating some more awesome pieces. He has recently been featured in the Ceramics Monthly issue and also completed a residency at Hambridge Artist Residency in just north of Clayton, Georgia. So I can't wait to talk about all of those things and just some other things. But man, how have you been? We got to see each other back in October briefly, but
Yeah, thank you for that wonderful, kind introduction. So many kind words. Yeah, I've been good. New year, new beginnings. Um, Everything's looking good already. As far as school, getting that prepared for the upcoming semester next week.
right.
So a little stress there, but nothing new on that. Um, where do you want me to dive in at?
Well, just sort of start at the beginning. Where did your journey into the art world sort of start?
Uh, wow. I guess I could say I've I've been into art since I was like 5, drawing, uh, tracing, doing things like that. Started tracing first, and then started drawing. Um, Clay, I didn't ceramics. I didn't get into ceramics until college, really. But drawing has always been one of my biggest passion. And then once I got into ceramics, that kind of took over even more. Um, it was a crazy journey going from because in high school I did a lot of art, but not as now that I look back at it, I was like, man, I should have did more than that. But I didn't go to school immediately after for art or anything. I actually went into a technical college for accounting.
Oh,
Believe it or
wow.
not. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I think my mom, and aunt, and they told me like, you can't really make money in art and stuff like that. And this was back when I was like 18. So, and I was like, what? Okay. And then so I got into accounting. And that I graduated, but I didn't do anything with it because I guess that wasn't my thing, or a cup of tea. You
Right.
know. So yeah, I didn't do anything with it. And then, years later, I decided I wanted to get back in art and be a teacher. So and then University of West Georgia opened their arms to me, or doors and arms, and that's where it kind of began right there. My story kind of started.
That's awesome. And it's just it's growing from there. I mean, it's just been one thing after another with you, and I've enjoyed watching the journey for sure. Well, you took us to UWG. How about taking us over to South Carolina and a little bit of your Clemson um, background?
Oh wow. So after University of West Georgia and getting all the great tutelage there, meeting so many great people like yourself, and seeing your journey as well. Ventured into Clemson University to get my degree in MFA in ceramics and visual arts. That was a different kind of journey. It was a lot tougher, and I think a lot of people can tell you, people who graduate, they're like, grad school is tough, but it it prepares you for the outside world even
Right.
more in my eyes. But everybody has their own way of doing things, their own path, own journey. So um, I would say when I first got in there, I didn't know what to expect. Doubted myself a little bit here and there because I don't know it's so new, and I moved away from I'm moving to another state, or did move to another state. So that
Right.
was I'm from Georgia. That's where I've been. So to move, and South Carolina's not far, but I mean, just to move and do that kind of thing is different.
Yeah.
Um, so, but the journey there was amazing. It was amazing because I learned so much. I failed on a lot of things, but then I learned from those failures, and that's the only way you can develop
Mhm.
as a person. You have to go through things. You might fail a couple things, and then you learn from those failures and become great. So I learned so much as far as like my roles as a TA, ceramic technician, teaching or TAing 2D, 3D classes. And the funny thing is, I'm doing that now. So
Right.
yeah. So and then beginning ceramics, I TA'd that one, and just it was just so many different experiences. And grad school is even smaller than what I mean. It's even smaller than undergrad. And what I mean by
Mhm.
that is, and as you know, there's only so many grads. It may be like six, maybe eight, if that. Sometimes it's smaller than that. Your group, your community. So
Right.
we kind of all like uplifted each other together. When we didn't do good on finals, we all said, uplifted each other. So it's like, or one of us didn't do well, or there's always somebody to help us, and one of my friends to uplift us each other. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was amazing. Like I said, I learned so much, and it prepared me for things that unforeseen things that I didn't know, but the professors they knew because they've been there. They know
Right.
things. So yeah, it prepared me for the outside world and how different that can be when
Mhm.
you're not sheltered. I want to say sheltered, but it's like you kind of are. You're the school, undergrads, they have you like here, and then next you go to grad school, and you're still kind of sheltered, but you're free. But then when you go get outside from all that, it's you.
Mhm.
You have to find your path like quickly.
Oh, for sure. And I know with my experience, I was constantly being handed like wrenches to, like they kept throwing a wrench in it, and it it was always one thing after another. I don't know if you were in a 2-year program, right, instead of 3-year.
2.5. It was close. It was close.
Okay, yeah.
It was close. I mean, yeah, there was wrenches thrown in there.
I know I was questioning my whole identity and everything.
You know what? That is part of it now. I mean, like I tell people, like grad school is great. You don't have to go there to be a better artist,
Mhm.
a better teacher, or anything, but it does help a lot. Like, you know, if you look at yourself now, like think about like how you were before UWG. Think about how you were after UWG and then after grad school. It's like you're three different people
Right.
all during those time periods. But I, like I said, I tell students, friends, and whoever, like, hey, grad school is great, but it's a boot camp. It is a boot camp, and their job is to prepare you to have the success when you leave. I mean,
Mhm.
you're successful there at school, but I meant like when you know leave that campus, and start applying for jobs. They teach you, you get taught all that. So um, yeah, boot camp.
Mhm.
But
Yep,
it
for
was
sure.
tough. It was rough, but you gotta, and it builds something in you, more character. Like if you didn't have that grit in you, you're gonna get it.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to find it. If you don't have it, you're gonna have to
Yep.
find it. And I found
And
it, and you found it. You know,
right. And you have to dig in and really find your core too.
yeah,
Because you might have known what you wanted beforehand, but then
you just want to survive.
yeah, that's
Well,
it for sure.
yeah, but we did, and it just that's just part of it.
Mhm.
And I used to get so frustrated through some of those practices and things, and it feeling sometimes like, man, like after a midterm, like I don't know what to make anymore.
Right.
What to do. But that's just part of it. It toughens your core up because on the outside world it's so different. It's from school. Say if you had some artwork in a gallery, and you might have a show, and a lot of people come, and you might get some people that critique your work very harshly, and like
Mhm.
and ask you questions like, why are you doing this, or why is that? That doesn't make any sense. And why do you have Native Americans in your work? You're not Native American. Blah blah
Right.
blah. And not saying you have to be Native American to make Native American work. It's more you have to be able to talk about it. You have to be able
Mhm.
to understand and get the other people to understand what you're doing. Because if you don't, and it don't make sense,
Right.
it's gonna be very tough and on you. So you gotta know everything has baggage. So you gotta be able to understand that. Be able to
Mhm.
understand the baggage and explain it. So I
Yeah.
even talk about it now.
I know we got a lot of that while we were in undergrad too. At least with working with Kevin a lot. I know the sculpture students did. Dave probably helped quite a bit with that too. He was always good with unpacking things.
Yes, oh yes. I mean, he's helped me out so much. Not just him, but just Dave and Ryan and Casey and Kevin,
Mhm.
uh, Deborah and Aaron. I'm naming everybody,
Yep.
really. But I
I
mean, like
mean,
they all helped me and helped you in a way to propel you for school,
mhm.
um, and outside of that, and
Yep,
even now
for sure.
it's yeah, even now I'm back at West Georgia, and they're my colleagues, but I mean, they're still helping me, you
Mhm.
know. So,
And that's really how the art world should be. There's too many people that are um like quiet or try to hide their trade secrets per se, and that's not really how it works. Like
yeah,
you you have to be a club or a um group, a wolf pack, so to speak, because otherwise you're just going to be eaten.
yeah, it's about network and selling yourself and networking and having a good rapport with people. Trying not to burn bridges and things. You're
Mhm.
gonna get mad at people. People are gonna get mad at you, but you can't burn a lot of. Try not to burn any bridges, but
Right.
sometimes it does happen for the best.
Yeah.
But always had a good rapport, and you have too with all the faculty at West Georgia, and that really helped. Like and then, even us, like, great friends, like if you need something, I need something. That's how it should be, because you
Mhm.
never know. You might know, somebody who's looking for uh, that's teaching ceramics, and they need
Right.
for a figure track, and you can, you might delay that, tell me about it. So, but that's how it is. We're all helping each other. Well, how it
Mhm.
should, but sometimes it's not like that. People, like you said, hide those secrets, or like, well, they're looking for your failure, and it shouldn't be
Right.
like that. Everybody
Mm-mm.
should want to uplift each other and help each other here and there. But I understand, as far as when you're bidding on the same job, eh, you got that's competition. You just got to just go with that,
Yep.
other than that, it should be sharing sources and things.
Mhm. For sure. Valerie is on watching, and she says it's great to hear you reflect on your MFA experience and community of the faculty and fellow grads at Clemson. Are you staying in touch with your cohort, and how are you supporting each other as a professional peers now?
Well, thank you, Valerie, for that question. Um, I do reach out when I can to my friends and fellow grad students. It's life. A lot of that is people are here, there. They got families. Um, they're doing other things, and it's hard to get a hold of
Mhm.
everybody. But I do my best to reach out and and support,
Right.
see what they have going on. Anytime I see any like shows, or not shows, but exhibition that's coming up that is related to any one of my friends or grad students,
Mhm.
I shoot them a message like, hey, the links and everything, like, hey, this contest is open. And Sika has the ceramic monthly coming up
Mhm.
February. I can't remember the date, but this February. So I'm sending it out to all my ceramic friends, letting them know, like, hey, I did that. I was talking to Amy Smoot today,
Oh,
uh,
really?
our friend Amy in Alabama, teaching there about entering that ceramic monthly, and she was going to get on that today. But anyway, the thing is just making sure that that I reach out as much as I can. I know everybody has a busy life, but just it's all about support. If they need a recommendation or anything,
Mhm.
or any kind of tutelage or help, and I'm asking too. I ask some of my friends, like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or "What about this residency? Have you done it?" So yeah, it's about just supporting each other. Anytime
Mhm.
you see something that it could benefit them, send it.
Yep.
Call them, text them, let them know,
So
like, this.
important.
I saw this, yeah, and they do the same, and it's a circle of
Mhm.
the interest.
Yep. The Clemson Visual Arts, they actually posted, they shared earlier too on the Instagram and everything, but they said, "We're still one of your biggest fans, Asian, and congrats."
Thanks. Yeah, Clemson is big on supporting their undergraduates and graduates,
Mhm.
students. They always have my back at everything. I'm always reaching out to, especially Valerie, for any kind of insight, help, or just checking on her family and seeing how things are going at Clemson University. But like I said, Clemson is very supportive what I've been doing and what I've been accomplishing, and they I'm so thankful for them to always support me
Mhm.
and send my images out, like, or share my images. So they're
That's so
I love Clemson.
sounds like it for sure. I'm glad you had such a great experience. Um, s Tell us a little bit, because I haven't actually got to go to an NCECA. I was planning to go to the one in Richmond, but the pandemic happened, so I still haven't got to go. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Ceramics Monthly and NCECA?
Well, I've been to Sika twice. I wanted to go another time, but I guess something came in the way. And then the last one, of like you said, the pandemic. I was trying to get everything prepared for that, and I actually had my the my registrations and everything. I had it up and ready, and then it's like pandemic. I was like, no, what does that mean? It
Right?
means yeah, it means social distancing.
Mhm.
So yeah, but anyway, and the times I did go was when I was a student at University of West Georgia and a student at Clemson University, and both times were just amazing. I mean, it's always great to see so many peers and so many ceramicists that's making a lot of work, and just it's inspiring because growing up, I didn't have opportunities to participate in art related activities. Really, my mom was a single parent and worked two jobs, so
Mhm.
so I didn't do much art except like just drawing and things. Like I said, NSYNC was amazing. I went with a cast of friends from UWG and also at Clemson University, and like each time was great. There's so many workshops, demos, places you can go to kind of see top notch
Mhm.
artists do their thing live, and you're in front of them like, wow, I want to be that person, or I want to work with that person, or so I got to see all of that, and they had what's the word? It's all laid out like crisp and clean, like, and what I mean by that, like the brochures and everything and workshops, you know
Mhm.
exactly where you need to be, and I love that everything was organized and ready to go. Yeah, uh, I think it was and Sika's like starts on like a Wednesday, I think, and
Mhm.
goes to Sunday. So I usually didn't stay that many days, but I stayed a couple of days, at least three, um, 2 to 3 days. But it was amazing. And that networking and so many
Oh,
supplies.
sure.
You love supplies. I love supplies. So all those ceramic tools and kilns, you just you know, like, other people are drooling over cars and shoes and
Right?
and and I'm over there like, oh man, that loop tool looks great.
Mhm.
That rib, oh, I need one of those.
I know. I bought when the printmaking conference, the Southern Graphics was in Atlanta. I bought so much. It was like insane. The market that they had, print making material and paper, as well as the like actual like printers there that had their prints and everything to sell. So I've always wanted to go to NCECA to see all the loop tools and
Hey, come on! Once the pandemic is over with, we are going. We
I've
are
got to.
going. But like I said, you get to see so many other artists there, so many other people. You could network and just enjoy yourself.
Mhm.
See the annual NSECA annual contest, and then also the emerging artists, um, which a is amazing thing of its own, where they give you supply money if you win. For that, you get to talk about your work on the stage. Everybody sees you. It's videotape. You get to be on Ceramic Monthly and
That's
all
so
kind of
awesome.
publicity. It's just all kind of networking. It's just and then the annual, and then it was also other like shows, ceramic shows you could go to as well and see so much work. But I I do miss it so much. I do miss it. Like, I went to Davins and my first time, which is in Atlanta. So
Uh-huh.
it's it's awesome ceramic store,
Yeah, it is.
and I went up for the first time this over the break, I think. Yeah, and got some amazing tools. Oh man, I was so happy just to be in there. So many glazes. I was like,
I know.
just oh, sorry, but then Ceramic Monthly. I just get into that real quick. Is an amazing magazine that the best I've seen. I mean,
Hmm.
just because it promotes so many people's work, like from every background, it, and I just every time I'm seeing it, a magazine of theirs, because I have it like I'm subscribed to it online, and
Hmm.
I'll do, and they have awesome tips on like how to do different things, glazes from awesome
Right.
artists, O four or Cone 10, but what I love in it the most are the people's stories and just the work, the
Hmm.
amazing they they put in there, and just giving back and giving opportunities to people
Oh, for
to
sure.
to show their work and uh, and put that on the resume. But
Yeah,
but yeah, for
it's
me,
so
show
important.
their work. Yeah, so yeah, you got to build that resume. You got to build that
Hmm.
resume. So I was just so fortunate to get uh, into the ceramics monthly. It was amazing. It was something I've been trying to get into anyway, and when I got in, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was so excited for you. I mean, congratulations for sure. That's an amazing accomplishment.
And now I'll just say it now, but I haven't really told too many people, but I'm also going to have some artwork into the Ensika annual. Um,
Nice. That's awesome.
so you're getting this news live, like
This is, you heard it here first. That's
thank you,
awesome.
Ensika. Appreciate that. Some good news.
Yep. Do you know if they're doing an actual in-person conference this year, or are
I have
they?
to do a little bit more research on it. I do not know. I know
Hmm.
because I know last time it was more virtual, but I have to check. I need to check into that to see.
Right.
Um, with Yeah, we'll have to see. I know there's maybe some vaccines coming out or whatever, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see how things play out.
For sure. Well, one thing that you've actually got to do during the pandemic is an artist residency, because Hamage is sort of like this little community, small space, and you're almost, I know when I visited there, it's sort of like you're very isolated. You don't really have contact with a lot of the other artists, maybe just at dinner or something like that. So you're pretty solitary the whole entire time you're there. So it's a perfect place for a pandemic artist residency. I know all of mine were canceled. Um, but why don't you sort of tell us a little bit about your experience there? Um, did you have a plan going in as to what you were going to try to produce, or did that come to you as you were working? And just, yeah, I want to know it all.
First of all, awesome because I didn't know you went there. That's awesome. Amazing place. Amazing
It is.
place.
I haven't got to actually go as an artist yet.
Mhm.
I've applied a couple of times, but usually what I want to do is, all my natural colorants and stuff. I would have to go during like the spring or summer so that I could collect certain things, and that's like their highest volume. And so far, my application hasn't been accepted. So, knock on wood, sometime soon.
Come on, Hambitch.
Yep.
Help her out. But yeah, first of all, Hambitch, man, it is an amazing place. That was my first. This is my first residence. I've never been anywhere like to residency before. That was my first one, and they set the bar. They set the bar. And when a lot of places were closing because of the pandemic,
Mhm.
uh, they opened up their arms. They they instructed us on like how they kind of go about making sure everyone's safe, social distancing. They provided all kind of cleaning products, everything. They were ready. They were ready, and for the pandemic, perfect place for it. First of all, because I went there in the end of May, kind of end of May,
Mhm.
and it had got started to get really hot, and I've never been that far, like North Georgia, and man, and that's like the Appalachian Mountains and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Wow, I was videotaping that. Just I didn't even got the hammer yet. I was like, videotaping all that, but
I bet
it's
all
just
the mountain laurel and everything was probably blooming or sort of starting to, maybe.
it was amazing. Like the way the sun would hit, and it would rain a lot there sometimes, but the rain wouldn't last that long,
Mhm.
just a little bit. But I've never seen that much green in my life. Like trees, plants, everything, nature. Um, but anyway, I got in there, and like I said, they provided us with all the safety things that we needed. And man, it was a even though it was the pandemic, we still had a community there, and I got to meet a lot of awesome artists and networking with them still. Um, Everybody's doing different things. One person was a writer. The other person was a teacher that taught, I think, art history. I mean, but he was doing more painting,
Mhm.
abstract painting. It was just every and and our friend Jasmine
Oh,
Williams,
yeah?
she was there with me.
Oh,
I saw
cool.
the email and I was like, what? So we both went to Georgia, and she was working on her carvings from printmaking. So it's
That's
amazing
awesome.
place. We all got our own like house,
Mhm.
like big house, or cabin almost, and it was just, and it's set up. Each cabin is set up for different things. Like if you need more floor space or for different projects, you can get one of these kind of rooms. And my room wasn't too far from the ceramics area, which was in another building, so I could just kind of walk and
That's
go
awesome.
go down the road and work on my clay. But just amazing because the nature around it, even the bobcat that I saw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, is that a bobcat?" Okay. But even the bobcat I saw that ran off, and the frogs and things like that. It was in the insects. It was just awesome to see all that nature and to get away from city life. Even though
Mhm.
Carroll's a big city, but still, it was. I had been cooped up in the house, pandemic, and then you get to go somewhere with amazing people, get to network with amazing folks, get to make awesome artwork, get fed too. Yeah, it was more. They didn't serve meat, but uh, I curved my appetite towards some of those vegetables, and it was pretty good. But my experience was, like I said, it was just fantastic. Uh, they they gave me the space and gave everyone the space to kind of just wake up and just make work, just and it's sometimes it's hard to do with all the
Mhm.
today's distractions,
Yeah.
and I don't have a studio. So that was my studio. I got up in the mornings and I would just, and our cabins didn't have internet. We had a phone, so if we need to call and do that, but
Mhm.
we didn't have internet. So we had internet at one big house, and everybody, so if I wanted to go into the living room, that they had like sections where we
Mhm.
could do it, where we wouldn't that we kept social distancing. We
Right.
all and they provided us with masks and everything, so we're good. And the ceramics room was awesome, just awesome. Like coming in there, seeing all the space, and it's like, ooh, space opportunity. Let's make something. But to get into your point, because I tend to go off subject a little
Oh,
bit.
it's perfectly fine.
Um, I had a plan. I had a plan because you had to. I came with clay because you had to make your own clay. So I came with clay. I brought like tons of clay, and I was ready to make some different things. But with anything, you get so excited, and it's like, what do I make? What do I
Mhm.
do? There's so many options. But
Oh, yeah.
I started thinking about work that I did at Clemson University with at my MFA show, and I thought about that, and I thought about like how could I change it up some because I haven't made a lot of work. I didn't make a lot of work from after I graduated. I didn't have and I moved back to Carrollton. I didn't have a lot of space or or clay or anything,
Mhm.
you know. So it gave me the opportunity to really start making some work and stuff. So um, I would say I don't know, something just hit me. Like I said, I did a lot of sketches. I like to do sketches first, and I did sketches of things and new ideas and added stuff from Clemson to what I had, and then some new work just came out of it. Some amazing work
Mhm.
came, and those were the ones that you shared, the raku pieces that
Right.
are that are shaped like vessels, but they have each one have a very very specific hairstyle,
Mhm.
and but I'm using a raku process with it. I so I made the work. I didn't get a chance to finish it because with clay, you need a little time. But those 2 weeks I had was amazing. It got me started. I brought back my work. None of it broke. It was leather. It was leather hard.
Uh,
So I brought it back. It was fine, and kind of finished it up at my house. So yeah,
that looks so good.
well, thank you. You can thank Hambidge for inspired me. Like with so much nature, you want to do something. You want to make
Mhm.
something. So
And it's so important, especially us that have like graduated, getting those opportunities because just having enough time to make, not only having the space or the equipment or anything, but literally finding the time because I know you're like me, working multiple jobs. It's just trying to survive all the time. So it's really, really super important that we do get those opportunities. But what I would like to sort of unpack a little bit more is actually some of your background. You were talking about the hair and everything. What has it been for you, like in general, as being a Black African American artist, but especially within like the last year, even? Like, has it changed that much for you, or are things getting better, or have you seen it get worse?
well, I mean, things have changed some. I mean, and gotten better. I would say, as far as my work has like really changed.
Mhm.
If you look at my work from undergrad, is is more popular culture things I grew up with, like Star Wars and Spider Man, and things like that, which I love still. And it uh, it changed completely when I went to grad school. When I went to grad school, I didn't know what to make. I was so nervous and doubting myself, and I don't know why. I mean, I got accepted, so they had to like me
Right.
and like what I could do and what I wrote about. But it was just I don't know. I had to find myself, and then and it changed. Like I started making work because I've never really made work that talked about culture.
Mhm.
Not really. All my work has been, more about popular culture and and different figures from that, which is great. But it was something new that kind of went into. It started with objects. I started making work about objects like hair combs, afro picks, these big objects, and think about my relationship with that object. And most of that came from like my childhood. My
Mhm.
mom using that comb or using, certain combs to comb my hair, my sister hair, and my brothers, and it just metamorphosed to that. It changed to talking about my culture, and it just made me find myself more, made me more aware of what's going on in the world, and I started using my work to voice certain things. Like um, I remember a lot of my pieces, a few of my pieces, especially the bigger ones. They it talked about police brutality, um,
Right.
treatment of African Americans. So uh, I started, uh, I don't know, changing my thought process from like just making stuff that I like versus um, putting some work out there that says something more than, hey, I like this cartoon.
Mhm.
This The work started to make a statement, or well, it started to make a statement and increase dialogue, which I
Right.
wanted to start conversations with everybody, not just someone black, white, whatever, just everyone. Just And that's what it did. And my professors encouraged me to keep going with that and unpacking, why am I doing this? Why am I making this happen over here? Why am I pinching instead of like, having a clean vessel, you know?
Right.
And I started to think about that, write about that, unpack that. And the more I did, you know, the better my message kind of got through. Now it's like on another level,
Mhm.
it's I'm making these wonderful pieces that are really saying something. And there's nothing wrong with you just making some other pieces that you just want to make, and
Right.
because they all have their place and their message. I'm not, I'm doing some paintings right now of like LeBron and Ric Flair. I don't really paint them, but that's what I love. That's what I like. So, um, but anyway, um, yeah, I think my experience changed because, like I said, I didn't do a lot of work that talked about uh, Black culture or
Mhm.
anything. And when I got to grad school, it unpacked. It's like it's I don't know how it even happened. I couldn't even tell you how it happened. It was just like it just came out, and I guess because all the stuff was going on in the news about
Right.
how you know, uh, yeah, it's okay. Africans being treated, so I had to do something. I had to say something. I had to,
Yeah.
and continue to fight and encourage people to vote. And you see what's going on now with voting. So record high in Georgia. So,
Mhm. Up
so
here, they just charged the Capitol building and got in. Apparently, I don't know what all's happening in DC, and I don't know if I want to know right now.
we'll find out. I'm sure
Yep.
we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, it's my experience, like what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to do. And then I start seeing and noticing even more artists that are doing the same thing,
Mhm.
trying to, throw their voice out and let the work talk about it too as well. So it's it's been really opening up doors for me, you know. And I love it. I love every bit of it. I love embracing culture. I love embracing my culture, and that's what those pieces, those raccoon pieces, are about. That's why the colors are there. That's why I use that process of raccoon firing. And I know it's a harsh firing, but that harshness in it is it explains more about
Mhm.
how. And I use that. It's like I said, it's a harsh treatment, and raccoon. You can stuff breaks. As soon as you pick it up with the tongue, boom, it's broke, or it just
Right.
breaks when you're putting it into your little area and putting the can over it. It can break and do all different kind of things, or crack in 1,000 places. But I use that uh, those pieces, and I use that raku firing to talk about the wonderful colors that it can bring, and the beauty and importance of hair
Hmm.
in Black culture, and how we should embrace what our identity. Um, but then also the harshness, because some areas are kind of rough and this and that talks, and each one is specific, talks about specific things,
Right.
but or points, but they all talk about or meant for they all talk about like the treatment of African Americans. That's why I kind of use that harshness.
Hmm.
So
And then the same goes with like the hand building and the pinching and all of that. I mean, all of, like you said, it all builds and creates more content within it. But those pieces that you made, like just the progression from your undergrad to your grad work, like there was a definite change, and I liked how you started using cultural references and things from your actual lived experience, and then seeing that like progress and become almost, I guess, more grown up or something has been so impressive to watch. I mean, really, not that I love your Ric Flair stuff and all that too, but just the content and the way that you're using it and the way your hand works in the clay and creates everything is just really amazing.
oh, thank you. I think that as an artist, and we all, it's like we go in a circle. You might
Yes.
you might start something, build something some kind of way, and have a message like this, and then you go somewhere else like, well, I want to build something else, and you building different things, and over the years we we actually go back, we revisit those works or that
Hmm.
process, but it's just different. The concept may be a little bit different, or you might have changed the form, but you revisited what you've already kind of done. And it's like levels. We keep doing that
Right.
over and over, but it gets better. It's just different. And I'm actually going to revisit some of the forms I made um, at University of West Georgia, because I did a lot of slab building,
Right.
and I want to try that, but in another way. Try that with some of the vessels and hair, and see how that what happens there. So it's
Hmm.
about experimenting. So
Right.
that's what I like doing,
Yep.
experimenting with forms and pinching or not pinching, uh, glazes or different kind of clay bodies, smooth to rough to texture. And these are things that really pushed me in grad school at Clemson University, because without that, I think I would have got that knowledge, but it would have took longer.
Hmm.
And with the 2.5 years, now when my professors there would say, Ashan, why are you doing this? What does this mean? And I'm like, I don't know, but now I understand why they did that. I mean, they're getting me to really think about
Yeah.
because whatever you do to a piece is gonna leave that mark, and it's gonna say something. If you
Hmm.
leave something, if you leave, that's like if you go outside and you pick up a rock, and the rock is like a granite rock, and it's like kind of, it's got like not curves, but like it's shaped a certain kind of way. But then you pick up like a smooth rock. What is that saying when you pick that smooth rock versus a granite rock or slate or quartz? Those
Hmm.
are different things. So the same thing with clay. Same thing with painting. Do you build the layers up with the gesso or the or impasto? Or I think that's how you say it. But yeah, but yeah. So you get what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
it's methods too.
Totally. There is. Everything has its own inherent meaning, whether it's a fingerprint left or um, completely smooth surface. But that is certainly the way that you've come about it and like started really finding your voice among everything is really impressive. Um, I I think I'm going to sign off here soon because I know that you're busy getting ready and prep for um, the next semester at West Georgia. But I really, really appreciate you coming on tonight and giving me a little bit of information, and hopefully the rest of our viewers that come on and everything. It's such a great opportunity to get to talk to you about your art and have seen your progression through the years and everything. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, kind of, to a voice, to give me a voice and about my work, and talk about it, and my process and journey. And
Mhm.
I love what you started. You started the year off right, and not just with me, but just the what you've accomplished. And I would love to see more and more artists, artists with T, more of them coming and giving their story
Mhm.
and talking about how they came about in their processes, and what they're doing, how they're teaching or not, or doing more residencies, and because that's really, it's really uplifting and inspiring to hear, people that come from all different backgrounds, and
Mhm.
they're finding ways to, make it through, and can give you pointers and tips on things for the
Right.
viewers. And yeah, so I can't wait to the next episode, and see who you have on next. I know I'm gonna love it. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And I mean, that's exactly why I sort of started this, was so that because I see so many interviews, but it's all like Art 21 and like this very choreographed, and it's like well-known artists, but I want to give a voice to an artist from every walk of life, every medium, every, and whether it's undergrad all the way to professional artist. And so I'm glad that some people are really enjoying it because it's definitely a learning tool, I hope, for some people. I know it has been for me, if anybody. So I'm glad you're enjoying it as well.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I'll let you sign off and get back to work, and I'll talk to you later, Asian.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So I can figure out how to turn it off is the next thing.
Yeah, about
Yeah, about that.